Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here's question 4. So we have a diagram of this track, and they're asking for us to find the length, basically, of the track on the inside and on the outside. So to start, question 4a refers to the lap on the inside of the track. So that's looking here. In addition to knowing we're looking for the length of that track, which is a weird shape that we don't have a specific name for all of our perimeter and whatever purposes, they do give us this information, that the track consists of 2 parallel lines and a semicircle at each end. So the parallel sides are obviously going to be straight sides, so that we have one here and we have one here. What we know about those straight sides is that they are worth 100 meters each, right? So if I'm looking for the length of this path, I already know that I'm going to combine 100 meters plus another 100 meters plus my 2 semicircle ends. Now, when I'm looking at my semicircle ends, I know that in order to find the length of a circle or a semicircle, I need to utilize circumference. Circumference is pi times diameter. And if I'm looking for a semicircle, I'm going to cut that in half. So let's say this is the circumference of the right semicircle. The left semicircle is another pi times diameter divided by 2. But then if I think about 2 semicircles together, it's the right semicircle, here's the left semicircle, I realize I'm actually taking the circumference of 1 full circle. So I can either split it up as 2 separate calculations or just combine it into one. So I'm really looking to combine pi times the diameter in order to account for both ends. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, shoot me a message and I'll try to explain further. But I need to know the diameter of it, right? Now the diameter I can see is actually 64 meters. That's the diameter for both semicircles. So combined, that's the diameter of 1 full circle. So when I do combine all of my pieces here, 100 plus 100 plus 64 pi, I get a perimeter, I get a path length that is approximately 401.1 meters. Okay, next, they're going to ask us the same question, but for the outer path instead. So let me erase all this. Okay, looking at our outer path, just like the inner one, it consists of 2 parallel lines and a semicircle at each end. So we have these 2 parallel lines, and then we have a semicircle at each end. The process is going to be pretty much the same as the other. We just need to be mindful of our measurements. My 2 parallel portions are still the 100 meters. So I still have 100 plus 100. And then I, again, want the circumference of the semicircles. And just like on question 4a, if I'm taking the circumference of 2 semicircles, it's the same thing as taking the circumference of 1 big circle, right? 2 semicircles combined make 1 circle. So I'm still just generally looking for pi times diameter. But now I need to be mindful of what the diameter is. 64 was the diameter of the inner circle. But now we have this little gap here on each end. They give us that information. They tell us that the track itself is 10 meters wide. That means I have to add on 10 here. I also need to add on 10 there. So instead of a diameter of 64, I have 64 plus 10 to really give me a diameter of 84. So we have 100 plus 84 pi this time. And we find that our perimeter is approximately 463.9 meters. Okay. And then our last question is find the difference between the distances of running on the inside or the outer track. So we find the difference. Difference means I subtract 463.9 minus 401.1. I could have done that in my head. Sorry, 62.8 meters. Okay, I hope you're all good on question 4. Check back on the next video for question 5.